and at the same time, sandwiched in between that, because of my work in advertising, I, just like moving from Kansas City to New York, I asked myself what was next, and in the late 1980s, I took a trip to Paris. It was actually just a holiday. Mm. But for some reason, I took my portfolio with me.
Oh.
So I took my portfolio to Paris just on a holiday, but I had letters of introduction, and that's something that's very old-fashioned, but it was something that held me in great stead in those days. A letter of introduction is when someone you know in one place formally writes a letter that you give to a new person in the place that you're visiting by way of introduction, so that they can receive you and maybe entertain you or give you some of their time. So one of these letters of introduction I had was from a very famous male model at the time. And he wrote a letter of introduction for me to an agent in Paris that he knew. And he said, now, I'm just writing this letter for you because this agent, he doesn't represent artists. He just represents photographers, but he's a great person that you should meet. I think you'll get along, and maybe he can just, introduce you around the city socially. So I took the letter, and again, for whatever reason, I took my portfolio with me and went to visit this man, and his name was Joel Ingrid, and he was an Asian Parisian. And when I went to his office, he was very rude. He was very busy. He was on the phone, and he kind of held his finger up at me when I tried to say hello, to just kind of motion me to be quiet and just stand there. And so I stood there and then sat for maybe 20 minutes waiting for him to get off the phone. And when he finally got off the phone, he kind of motioned me over to just show him my portfolio because he saw that I had it with me. And he just started looking through it. And that wasn't my intention. I don't even know if he even read the letter, but he did know that I was a friend of a friend. So he looked at the portfolio, and then he just started asking me questions. What do you want to do in Paris? Who do you want to work for? And I told him, no, you misunderstand. I'm just here visiting. I've never been to Paris. I've never seen the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, etc. And he said, oh, okay. So he said, come with me. So we get in his Mercedes, and he literally drives me around Paris. And it was like a movie montage. He was like, okay, here's the Arc de Triomphe. Oh, zip. Here's the Eiffel Tower. Zip. Here's the Louvre. And then we just kind of did this tour in his car, this man I'd never met before. And he's just showing me all these spots in Paris just to kind of, in his words, get it out of the way. And then we went to lunch. And he actually became my agent that day. Wow. And something I didn't expect and wasn't anticipating, but I definitely accepted. And he was a joy, and he was a great man, and became a very close friend. And he was the reason that I ended up working in Paris, and I worked in Paris so much that I ended up getting an apartment in Paris and living there on and off for 3 years. And my career at that time was, I was very busy in New York. I was very busy in Paris, so much so that my agent in New York was complaining that I wasn't in New York enough to satisfy the clients that wanted me to work for them. And then the same thing in Paris. Wow. And my agents told me that I had a decision to make. I couldn't do both. And at that time, I was not confident enough to move to Paris full time because my French was never good, although I did try to study at the Alliance Française. But I was never confident in my French and just the fact that I was more comfortable in my life in New York. So I pulled away from my life in Paris. I continued to work, but not as often. And I didn't visit as often because at the height of it, I would be in Paris, let's say for 3 months, and then I'd be in New York for a month, then I'd go back to Paris, then I'd be in New York for 3 months. So it was kind of a nice transcontinental life for a few years.